Up, we have the light. The light coming in. Hold on a second. Light will have a lot to do with today's live stream because we're going to talk about fiber optic cables that transfer light from one point of origin to point of destination. And that is how, in fact, 99.9% of all data, information, videos, YouTube, Google, NSA, FBI, DEA, the American government, China, Korea, Japan, and Russia transfer their information via undersea cables. So on a side note, that being said, I'm going to give you the link for what is called the Beach, B-E-A-C-H, Beach House in Denmark, where all of the major trunk lines, T-R-U-N-C-K, all of the major trunk lines of the world, and the world is flat, by the way. That's in the title. Thanks for stopping by, Flying Circus. I read your mail. Thank you for watching what you did. Thank you. I saw your comment also. So, there's a building in Denmark. See, this is the fraud that the governments of the world, and more specifically, the United States government and Russia and China, are perpetrating so many lies to the people. If you knew the truth, then you would know the truth. I mean, I can give you the truth. I've given you the truth about satellites over the course of the last 2 weeks. We're going to talk about the crying giant in Cebu, how he finally came forward and admitted that Fazio is correct, that 99% of all communications work with undersea cables. But it took the crying giant of Cebu, who we'll talk about more in a little while. It took him to agree that I was right in order for the trolls to back down. Why? You don't really believe the crying giant is giving you nothing, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, do you? And I'll tell you why he's not. He's allowed, for many shows, people to say Fazio's crazy, there are satellites in space, Fazio doesn't know what he's talking about, Fazio is a nutcase, a nut job, he doesn't believe that there are satellites, and he's been on the show, sometimes even on the panel, and allowed people to make those comments, and his excuse will be the same excuse that he uses always, that he doesn't get to see every comment. That's just not the case. He multitasks on 3 or 4 different channels and watches every comment on what he's doing. So he was watching on, we'll call him the man who can't walk around his own lake. The man who can't walk around his lake in his own shoes. The man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes. We're not going to do that show today. We're going to do that show next week. So he was on the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes channel. And he was allowing the crying giant from Cebu, the crying giant, with the giant egotistical mental capacity. He was allowing dozens of comments, which of course, digressing back, he will say, I didn't see the comments. I don't read every comment. That has been his excuse for years, but the truth is, he sees every comment. That's factual. Now, moving on to the topic that I just started, he sees every comment, and he allowed the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes to call me a nutcase, a nut job, he and that he doesn't believe in satellites, not on this show, but on another show. And he believes the earth is flat. Listen, dudes and dudettes, the earth is flat. You can believe whatever you want. You've been lied to since the beginning of recorded history. And the giant, egotistical, crying giant, he knows the earth is flat simply because of the laws of physics prove the earth is flat. Water seeks its own level, no matter where water is, no matter the conditions, liquid water seeks its own level. It's one of the primary truths and proofs that the earth is flat. But digressing back to the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes, he deflects any negative commentary about him because he's really a fraud. His only attribute, his only ability to earn a living is to allow other people to come on his channel and perform what I call hate speech. That's his only access to earning money, other than the crying giant being his perpetual donator. Now, as the crying giant stated in this last video of the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes, he did give the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes now the sum total of in the $2,000 range to pay the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes backed immigration arrears, ARREARS, arrears. When you're behind on your rent or a payment, you're in arrears. He did admit that he gave the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes, I forgot the exact number, but it was in the $2,000 range. However, if you could go back and watch every video that the crying giant from Cebu did, it would the number would have started out, I believe the number it's 10 years, no payment of immigration fees, was the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes. So whatever that came out to, if my memory serves me correctly, the crying giant in Cebu said that he hired a lawyer to bring that man's arrears of immigration fees down from, if my memory serves me correctly, somewhere around the $6,000 mark. And he hired a lawyer and they worked out a deal with Philippines immigration to bring the price down. Now, at some point, I remember the number $4,000, but I don't remember what it's in reference to. But yesterday, the crying giant from Cebu did admit that he paid $2,000 plus in the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes arrears. Now, that's okay. That's good. That's good that he did that. But why? I don't know why. Now, he has a soft spot in his heart. He has extra money. He's allowed to do with what he wants to do with his money. However, in addition to those monies, I remember at some point he had clearly stated that he was paying the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes a few $100s a month as a subsidy for his bills. Now that was years ago. I don't know how long that went on for, but that, in my recollection, that is the truth. Now you've not caught me in a lie, and I'm not saying I can prove that, but what I'm saying is that's what I heard. And I'm not going to lie to you about what I heard. So at this point, we know that the crying giant gave him $2,000 plus for his arrears. And we also know that the crying giant offered him plane fare to get to the Philippines, which is cool. That's okay. I'm not opposed to that at all. But I don't understand why. Because in my opinion, the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes has collected somewhere in the vicinity, and this is just by mental notations, of $7,000 going back as far as 4 years ago. 7,000 US dollars for various causes. One was to help him get teeth. One was to help him get whatever teeth he had removed. Okay, so that money was paid, but he never got teeth. His teeth fund was absconded or used for something else. Another amount of money that the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes was sent, a large sums of money, about 3 years ago, in order to help his children get from the Philippines to Australia. Now, we don't know what happened to that money. There's been no account of that money. I don't know if it went towards the intended purpose or it didn't go towards the intended purpose. But what we do know about the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes is that he has a propensity to buy electronic gadgets with money that was earmarked for something else. Now, I won't say that he used his children's fund money for something else, but what I will say is that recently, the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes did in fact say, word for word verbatim, if it wasn't for me, being the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes, if it wasn't for me, my children would not have been able to go to Australia. But let me tell you what that means and what it doesn't mean. This is the fraud that I see perpetrated to the good people of YouTube. Hold on a minute. Messages are coming in. This is the fraud that I see perpetrated on YouTube. Okay, somebody, the man who sent me the video that that the possibility, quote unquote, that HARP weapons were used to make the earthquakes. We won't say where, quote unquote. I'm going to give you the link to that in a moment. So let me just write a thank you. He thanks. Okay. Yes, I'm live now on your topics. Thank you. Okay, so I have a friend of mine on Messenger that sends me the links. But so this is what the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes said. He said, if it wasn't for me, my children could not have gone to Australia. But the money that he collected years ago, let me send him my link. Hold on a minute. Let me, oh, that's not it. Where is my, hold on a minute. I want to send out a link. Somebody asked me for a link to my live stream on Messenger. This is the man who sends me quite a few videos on topics that I like to talk about. And okay, so I'm going to read the comments after I get through that one segment of where did the money go that was earmarked for his children. Where did it go? I want to know where it went. Not that I can prove where it went, even if he says where it went. I don't believe him because he has a propensity to deflect the truth. Greetings from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, everyone. Hey, Craig, Jacob, thanks much for stopping by. Thank you. I'm going to talk about the Gulf of Mexico, Craig, in a short while, because the man who I'm sending a link to for this live stream just sent me a link. Craig, stay there. I'm going to give you the link so that, because it relates to the Gulf oil spill. So it's going to be about 45 seconds from now. I'm going to give you the link to the video that has to do with the Gulf oil spill. It's called Breaking.
In the movie Knowing, the news...
It's called... This is one of the most important videos you will ever see. It's getting a little complicated. Just hold on a minute. Let me get rid of that window and let me Flat Earth Fazio. I'm going to give you the link. I have more. I want to put the title in here. This is one of the most important videos you will ever see on YouTube. This is one of the most important videos on YouTube. So let me give you... There's a lot of stuff going on that the American government is not telling us the truth about. As Mix just agreed. Mix, I see your comment. I haven't responded to that yet. Give me a moment, please. I'm going to post that link. This is... Now, I didn't listen to the video, but it's about the Gulf of Mexico oil spill, which I know more about than 99% of all the people in the entire world, because from Key Largo, dozens of my friends on my block and in my area fished the Gulf of Mexico, and I got reports back from the fishermen what was going on in the Gulf of Mexico, what happened after, during, and then years later. And you would not believe how the government lied to us about that. So, Craig, thanks for stopping by. So let's just digress back to the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes, and how the crying giant, the egotistical manacle, protects him for some strange reason. So, the man who can't walk a mile in his shoes said, quote unquote, "If it wasn't for me, my children would not have been able to go to Australia." That was, what, 3 months ago or thereabouts? Now, what does that mean? Does it mean that the money that was sent to the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, or 4 years ago, that money was put in a bank account and then used to send his children to Australia for plane tickets and visa fees and passport fees? No, it does not mean that. What it means precisely is that there was no mention that the money that was given to the man that can't walk a mile in his own shoes, he did not mention it. No one asked him the pertinent questions, important questions, pertinent. No one asked him the question except me, and my comment was removed before it hit the comments section, which he also has a propensity to do. So I asked him, was your part in getting your children to Australia part and parcel of the money that you received years ago that you put in a bank account and you used it to get those children to Australia? And my comment was removed. He saw the comment, though. So he removes the comments that degrade his pristine persona, the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes. He removes comments before they hit the comments section. He did this week also. And then says, we can see your comments. And the trolls say, we can see you. Yes, you can see the comments, but there's a latency, latency, of somewhere between 12 and 20 seconds from the time the comment hits the boards and the time the comment comes in, which gives the owner of the channel 12 to 20 seconds to remove the comment so no one else can see the comment. Let's say the comment is a link to a porno channel or something like that. The owner can remove the comment before people can click on the link. Or let's say the comment is derogatory in some way. The owner of the channel can remove the comment before you see it. But other comments he can allow. That's why when I say that my comments were being removed from his page, and only 2 people I know could have done that, and one of them would be the crying giant from Cebu, who said it wasn't him, but he lies, and we've caught him in many, many lies on his 3-hour hit piece against me, and the owner of the channel, who is a documented liar. So, did he lie about the money that was given to him for the sole purpose to get his children from the Philippines to Australia? By saying, I am responsible, without me, that could not have happened. The answer is no. It had nothing to do with him giving money to the cause. He didn't say he gave money. He never said he gave money to get his children to Australia. What he said verbatim, word for word, was, without me, my children could not have gone to Australia. So we have 2 questions I'm going to pose now. Where did the money go? That was for that purpose. And does your being responsible to get your children to Australia, is that your way of saying that you, the man who can't walk a mile in his shoes, that you signed documents releasing the children from the Philippines to allow them to go to their natural mother? The answer to that question is what he said was he's responsible to get the children to Australia, and what he said is that he signed the papers to get the children to go to Australia. He never, the money that was sent for that purpose disappeared years ago. So you people sending him money, that's your prerogative, of course, but he never uses the money for the intended purpose. That's my point. And the crying giant from Cebu knows that's true. Now, moving on, I'm going to go to the comments. Then we're going back to the crying giant from Cebu. Woo! Oh, this is fun. Oh, look at my shoes. Look at my shoes. The crying giant from Cebu. Look at my shoes. Look at my shoes. These are the shoes I can't walk around the lake behind my house in. They glow in the dark. Yeah, we're going to go back to the crying giant and how he protects the man who can't walk around the lake. So let's go to we'll go right up to the top of the page. Flying Circus. Mix, who used to be, an avid troll on my channel. He wants to become part of the conversation, and I thank him for that. It's a lot better to do live streams with people that are conversating with one another on an intelligent level. Now, I thank you for that. So you have said, now, Mix, the world we live in is a hologram, Michael. It's nonsense. It's a nonsense. Oh, now, Mix, whoa, I touched on Mix says, it's nonsense, the earth is round. The earth is... Now, I do believe, if I read that correctly, he believes, listen, just like I proved over the course of the last 2 weeks that there are no satellites in space and that you've been lied to. That's my next topic after I read the comments. I'm going to give you the link for that. I could give it to you now. Oh, let's see. Oh, where is that link? All right, I'm gonna have to open up another page where I got this header up here. I got stuff everywhere. So the flat Earth. Let's go to my channel. Okay, so my channel. I have trouble. I'm multitasking with approximately 6 different windows, and I am not. I'm capable of doing that, but I have to think about each thing that I do. So, okay, so in this. Okay, so let me get the title of this. Now, this is for your reading edification. Right now, I'm going to give you the title to an article called Google admits. No, it's got to go this way. Google says they don't use satellites for data or videos. Google said it. Now, I'll briefly go into this right now so that you guys can go watch this link. Now, and it's not just Google. In this article, Google 100% agrees that 99+% of Google's data, video transfers, and information highway that Google uses is 99.9% undersea cables. So I have said for two or 3 weeks that there are no satellites in space. I've said it before, but now I made a point of it. Well, as it turns out, that link there, along with the link for the beach house, which connects all of the undersea internet cables in the world, which also proves that there's no threat of war between countries. Because if there was, it would just take one disaster at the beach house to destroy all communications worldwide. One small weapon could destroy all communications worldwide in a millisecond, which means they know they're never going to war, and there's no backup plan for the undersea cables. And this is where the fraudulent comments and commentary from the big egotistical maniacal comes into play. He tries to make me wrong every chance he gets, and now I'm going to prove him to be a liar and a fraud. But it's going to take a few more minutes of conversating with the people on YouTube. So hey, Scott Del Fuego, let me go back to my, I'm going to post another link to the beach house. Now just picture this. It's not a house on a beach. It's a building. Huge. It's huge. It might be 1/4 of a mile wide and 1/8 of a mile deep. And in this beach house that I'm going to connect the link to right now, I'm going to give you the link, all of the cables in the whole flat Earth, and the Earth is flat, all of the cables on the entire flat Earth, or if you want to call it the world, all of them connect to one central location in Denmark. Knowing this, and that they publicize this, there's no way you're going to make me understand there's any threat of war between the big countries without them agreeing on a plan first. Let's say we're going to have a war. Let's pretend we're going to have a war. Let's make nice, and then we'll lie to the people that there's going to be a war, and then we'll all make money with the war machines of our various countries. But we're never going to have a war because all communication in the entire flat earth world or globe, whatever you want to call it, goes into that one building. And every single country, every fishing trawler, every Navy or Army or military aircraft carrier, every single military ship, every single huge trawler, every single cruise ship, they all of them have a chart where these cables are, so that no one drops an anchor on the cable. Everywhere in the world. That's right, Craig Jacob. It's a big club and we ain't in it. This is proof. That's right, Craig Jacob. That's George Carlin. He said it. It's true. And now Craig Jacob confirms it. All ships that have an anchor, all submarines, all military vessels that can anchor anything, all trawlers, all have a chart where every undersea cable in the entire flat earth or world, if you choose to call it a globe, which it's not, all of them have a chart exactly where the cables are. So they don't drop an anchor, or so they don't trawl over it. And you think that if we were going to have a war, they could just disrupt the whole of all information in one fell swoop by eliminating that building. Now, the big fraud, the big egotistical, maniacal liar in Cebu, he knows that's true. He knew it was true on the Man Who Can't Walk a Mile in His Own Shoes channel, and allowed people to critique me until I said the big egotistical, crybaby, maniacal liar knows it's true. Say it ain't so. And what did the big egotistical, maniacal man say? He said he had to make me wrong, but he made me right. But first he made me right, and then he made me wrong. Because he can't accept the fact that I posted this information and he didn't do it. Because he's part of that big club that we're not in. He knows the earth is flat because of fluid dynamics and water seeks its own level. The big egotistical crybaby from Cebu knows the earth is flat and allows people to abuse my commentary. He knew there were no satellites in space, because when I said, come on, big egotistical maniacal crybaby, say that there are satellites in space. Say I'm wrong. And his words were, and I quote, Fazio is correct. 99% of all data is transferred in undersea cables. But 1% is transferred via satellites. Is that true? Not exactly. But he had to make me a little wrong, because his egotistical, self-indulgent to the New World Order had to make me wrong because he's part of it. That's not conspiracy. He's listened for 2 weeks. People abuse me saying that there's no satellites in space, knowing the truth, knowing that I posted videos that all communications is done with undersea cables. And yesterday he admitted it, but with a but, 1% is done with satellites, because part of that statement is true. There are no satellites in space. Forget that. What there are low Earth orbit balloons at 70, 75, 80, 100,000 feet up. They are what satellite phones in the ocean use. That's what the military use to transfer data. Satellites in space? No, I don't believe it. And here's how I can prove that what I don't believe is true. For how many years has NASA and the governments of the world said there's 10,000 satellites in space transferring all your internet? That's a lie. Now it comes out that all data is transferred via undersea cables. So what happened? Where did they go? Those 10,000 satellites that were transferring data. There never was. They've just been charging us for a service that we're not getting. Yes, there are satellite phones. Yes, they work on high orbiting balloons, low Earth orbit balloons at somewhere between 78,000 feet and 100,000 feet. Kind of like the ones they shot down last month or last week. That's where our satellite communications come from, balloons, lighter than air balloons. Now, why? What did he say? His words were the big egotistical, maniacal. What did he say? He said, yes, all the undersea cables transmit 90, but 1% is satellites. Nonsense, I say. Because until, and then he used the word Starlink. Yes, Starlink is putting up low Earth orbit satellites, or possibly they figured out a way to put satellites in space. Here's the problem with that, and I'll go through it by the numbers, because I am an A&P jet mechanic. I do understand the concept of entropy. I do understand the concept of friction. You people don't understand what the word entropy means. You don't understand friction. You don't understand degrading orbits. If Elon Musk puts up a satellite in space, if there was space, it has to constantly be boosted by rocket fuel, which it can't do forever. So how much fuel do they need to put in a satellite to keep the satellite in orbit because of entropy decaying the orbit? Now, we've all heard that the space station has to be boosted occasionally, right? They have to use fuel, right? Well, they have supply ships that bring them fuel. Satellites don't have supply ships. Satellites have whatever fuel they go up with, that's it. It's over. And then they come back down. So we don't have 10,000 satellites in space. Okay, we have a man from the Air Force. Let's get this. Let's see what he has to say. Okay, so do we have satellites in space? And Mr. Surveillance? Okay, do we have satellites in space? Do they transfer the data from one nation to the other? And how do they maintain an orbit? I'm asking you, I'm going to let this man talk. How do they maintain an orbit? Are they in a Clark orbit? C-L-A-R-C. Do you know what a Clark orbit is? Are they in a Clark orbit? So let's first ask you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I'm not going to block somebody like that. There are satellites. Okay. Agreed. There are satellites, but they don't transfer data. That's what the gentleman said. I'm going to allow this man to post anything he wants, links included, because he agrees there are satellites in space. That I could agree with, but they don't transfer the data, because I'll give you the statistics. He can confirm or deny or tell me I'm just wrong. It's okay, you tell me I'm wrong. A Clark orbit is 22,000 miles above the equator. CLARC, Clark orbit. Okay, a Clark orbit is around the so-called equator of the Earth at 22,000 miles above Earth. They don't use satellite. Now, if satellites were to work, they'd have to be in a Clark orbit at the equator, so their omnidirection would hit the North and the South Pole. That's how that works. It would be 22,000 miles to get your cell phone data to the satellite. The satellite, thank you, the satellite would have to interpret your signal, which would need computers the size of a school building, and then it would have to send it back down because there are billions of signals per second. And so the latency to get your signal from Earth to the satellite and back down to Earth would be in the area of seconds, depending on where you were on Earth. So it could be 2 to 4 seconds, could be 1 second, but the further you are away from the satellite, the further, like you could be 4,000 miles from the equator. So it's the latency of the signal. Thank you, sir. Yes, way above my head. That is true. No internet data. Thank you. So a man who says he worked for a military contractor putting satellites in space for 18 years is confirming that there are satellites in space, military satellites. Okay, and there may even be civilian satellites, but my point, and you've confirmed it, is that there are no satellites that transfer all of our data. So in the links I provided, Google agrees. Okay, so here's how. So there, if a satellite existed that transferred data, it would have to be in a Clark orbit, 22,000 miles from the Earth. The latency might be 1.5 seconds up and 1.5 seconds down. So by the time you said what you said, somebody would be responding to something you said before what you said. That would not work. Because you wouldn't understand what he said because he said what you said. He answered the question that you said before he said it. It would be a mess. You would have to say something and then say over, and then he would have to say, okay, respond, and then say over. Elliptical orbits. Okay, thank you. Post everything and anything you want, please, by all means. I want controversy on this subject. I want people to confirm or deny what I've spent days and weeks studying and researching. I welcome the banter. Actually, I welcome it. Thank you, and I welcome the fact that you gave your credentials, and that you're not confirming what I said. You're telling me what you know. That's cool. Thank you very much for coming. So there are no satellites that convey because of the latency in the signal. Now, Google confirms, and here's how Google confirms that they use undersea cables. There's a cable that goes from Europe to Denmark to the beach house, from the beach house to the West Coast, from the West Coast to the East Coast. Maybe it goes around the United States, maybe it goes around California into the Gulf of Mexico, up through the Panhandle, but there are 450 undersea cables, totaling 700,000 miles of undersea cables that are noted and marked on GPS and or satellite waypoints where the cables are. So if you're 10 miles offshore and you're going to drop an anchor, you look on your chart that is your shipping venue chart, and it'll say that there's a cable underneath you. Move a half a mile west or east. They don't want you dropping anchors on the cables. Okay, so if you are if you are over the deepest canyon on Earth, the one that's 7 miles deep, okay, they have cable that doesn't go through that 7 mile canyon, but they'll run the cable up to it and then around it. But they have cable in depths of water up to 24,000 feet. And Google, how does Google get their information from Europe to America? Thank you, sir. You're welcome, Sir. Let's see, Sir Villana M. Thank you very much for saying thank you, Michael. You're welcome to post whatever you want, because you're bringing a whole new venue of information that's usable, proving or disproving my theory. Because some people think I'm crazy, and for weeks now, the egotistical, maniacal, crying baby in Cebu has allowed people to debase my comments and my person strictly for his own benefit, because he doesn't want people to know that I speak the truth. Because what he wants to do, what he does, what all narcissists do, is they destroy your persona. And that's what he did with that 3-hour hit piece he did against me. People know it's not true. And now people will start to see the fraud seeping through his persona. That's true. So he allowed people, then he agreed that 99% is undersea cables, but he had to throw in, but 1% goes through Starlink. To digress back to Starlink. Yes, 1% is suborbital satellites, high Earth orbiting balloons, and as Surveillana M says, military satellites. So that's true, but take away Elon Musk's Starlink from 3 years ago, 5 years ago. Take away his satellites. So the big egotistical, maniacal nutcase in Cebu, free speech, right? It's only YouTube, baby. Remember that. He's stating that because of Elon Musk, there are satellites, but he's bringing something to the table that shouldn't have anything to do with it. Because for 50 years, we've been told all data goes through satellites. That's a lie. But he had to make me a little wrong, because his egotistical, maniacal self-love and loathing of anybody could possibly conceive is smarter than he is, he has to degrade them. That was what that 3-hour hit piece was. 3 hours to destroy my good reputation on YouTube? I don't think so. I don't care how many people say whatever they say. I know what the truth is, and I know for a fact, and I've always known that there are no satellites bringing 99% of the data, but it's just something that I decided to make a series about. The flat Earth, Fazio, no satellites in space. Maybe I'll do a few more videos and then I'll drop that. Maybe not. It's fun right now. And then maybe I'll go on to the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes. But moving back to Elon Musk's satellites are new to the genre. But let's go back to Google. How does Google get the information? Do you people understand Google's transference of videos, live streams, and data equates to 70 million live streams per second. 70 million live streams per second going from Europe to America and 70 million live streams plus data going from America to Europe. You know how many cables? Pronounced Servilana. Servilana. Thank you. Servilana. Servilana. I like that. I like the way that sounds. I have a Servilana on my team. Thank you, Servilana. Salamat. Google, you know how many, the undersea cable, you know how many strands of fiber optics are in the undersea cables? 6, 7, 4, 8. Do you know how many of those strands Google bought to transfer 70 million live streams per second from Europe to America? They bought 2 strands, 2 fiber optic strands, the thickness of a human hair. Thumbs up, baby, thumbs up, if you agree. Thank you, Dennis. They bought 2 fiber optic strands, one for data from Europe, one for data going back to Europe. That's all the strands Google needs. The NSA, Facebook owns 1 strand. One strand. They have other strands in other places, but most of their data is transferred back and forth on 1 strand, Facebook. Now, they may own 2 now, but the most up-to-date that I could find is that Facebook had 1 strand in 1 particular cable. So when you have the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes saying that Fazio's a nutcase, why? Because you're not intelligent enough to do research? You can't even walk around the lake behind your house. And then when I ask you, why don't you do that, you deflect and say, could you do it? Or Fazio, one fat man talking about another fat man. The difference between this fat man and that fat man is that I could walk a lot further than you could comprehend. You would fall down crying before I would stop walking. And you know it, and I know it. That's why you deflected off the topic. You're so out of shape that you can't even walk around the lake behind you. Why don't you walk around? Well, it's winter. It's winter. The man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes, the man who worked in Alaska on a fishing vessel in 30-degree below weather, he can't walk around a lake where the temperature's 45 degrees. He's a fraud. He has no ability to earn a living other than e-begging. That's his way to earn a living. And he goes, I e-beg. Well, he doesn't even have to e-beg. He has people that supplement his cost of living to the tune of thousands of dollars a month. Look at that fella that eats balut. He sends him $50 every live stream or more. He does 2 live streams a week. He gets $100 a week. He gets $400 a month from a guy who eats balut. Which is cool that he gets that kind of money. But if it wasn't for the man who eats balut and the other guy, the egotistical, maniacal nutcase, that crying giant that wants to make me wrong, he wouldn't be able to eat food, let alone buy toys. Where did the money go? We want to know where the money went that we gave for your children. Even I donated at that time. Where did our money go? Man who can't walk a mile around the lake behind his house, where did that money go? Back to the commentary. Servilana. Sounds Spanish to me. Thank you for stopping by and bringing some culture to the channel. So now let's go. Mike Dowdy's in the chat here. Let's go back up. Scott Del Fuego says, you can't believe everything the establishment tells you is true without questioning it. Thank you, Scott. Move your finger now. Consider, is that moment still valid? Is it gone? Where is it? What is time really? Did the event occur, or as it passes, is it irrelevant? Whoa, whoa, that's deep. Take the hat off to the Scott Del Fuego. Tipping the cap to the Del Fuego. We'll do it like that. Tipping the cap. And then you clowns, look, Fazio can't afford a pair of glasses. Yeah, I can afford it. I have lots of pairs of glasses. These are my, I have like 5 pairs of glasses that have, perfect structure, perfect glass structure. But which do I prefer? I prefer the reinforced concrete version of my glasses, because these, if I lean against the wall or sit on them, they break. These bad boys, they've been tested. They're tried and true. So I have a whole box of glasses. I can't afford glasses. Yeah, okay. So have to think deeply to question life, says Scott. Thanks, Scott. Philosophical Scott Del Fuego. Tip of the cap. Hot dog, Michael. Craig Jacob. The last time I saw you, you had long hair and a beard. It's been a minute. Wow, I've heard that expression recently on the internet a lot. That was the last time I had long hair and a beard was December of 2013. I cut the hair off at that. I cut my beard off at that time. That's been a long time. Hey, Craig, thanks for stopping by. No more balloon festivals for Craig Jacob. Yeah, I don't know what they shot down. And I have my own theory about that. Why? I don't know what other people are saying on the internet, because maybe I'll read something. The last time I read anything about them shooting down balloons was a week ago, and I talked to Scott about this. I said, why are they using missiles to shoot down the balloons over the ocean? Why? For what reason? You people, when I say that a lot of you people are as dumb as rocks, you are as dumb as rocks. An inexpensive missile on the wing of a fighter aircraft, and these are Top Gun pilots. An inexpensive missile on the wing is $78,000, going down to $45,000. And the inexpensive ones. The more expensive ones are $150,000. Okay, so Craig Jacob says a Sidewinder is $400,000. That's as much money as most people make gross in 15 years of their life. And they shoot those things off all the time like they're cotton candy balloons. So an inexpensive missile to shoot down the drones or the balloons are $50,000 up to, thank you, Craig, up to $400,000. Now, I said to Scott, why are they using missiles when they could easily go up to that height and shoot it with bullets, which would allow the helium to exhaust out of the holes, and then the cage with the electronics would fall to Earth slowly. They don't have to shoot 1,000,000 bullets. They could just shoot 3 or 4 bullets and see what happens. It'll start to come down. Why do they have to blow the balloon up in orbit over the ocean? Why? It's because they don't want you to know what's in the cage. They don't want you to know what's in the electronics. They don't want that whatever's in the cage to fall into somebody's hands. Maybe it fell down in somebody's backyard. They grabbed the computer and they run away with it, and then we would find out what's in the balloon. So they shoot it down over salt water, so it's basically the information is irretrievable except now they're sending it to Quantico, and they'll spend $2 or $3 million on technical assistance at Quantico for the FBI to determine what the electronics may or may not have done. That's stupid. They could easily shoot some bullets through the balloon, and they could easily have a helicopter under where the balloon comes down and follow it down to the ground and have men jump out on the ground and grab the package. They don't have to worry about landing on a house. The whole thing only weighs 100 pounds, unless they're worried about it landing on a person. But that's the probability of that is almost no. There's billions of acres of forest between where they found it and where they shot it down. There's billions of acres of land. Not only that, the chance of it landing on a person or a car with a person in it is negligible. It's so that they can hide, or they can justify the expense of a Sidewinder missile at $400,000. It's the American war machine playing games with your taxpayer dollars. That's what it is. I'll go past this now. Craig Jacobs says it's a big club, brother, and you ain't in it. Servalana says, Servalana. Oh, he's pronouncing it. Servalana. Servilana. Thank you, Servilana. The ego is expanding as fast as the space and time continue in Hubble's expanding universe. That's another thing, the Hubble. That is a total fraud. Now, and do you know how much? $30 trillion since NASA was originated. And do you know how many pictures we have from space? They could have. That's true. They wouldn't, Servilana, they wouldn't even have to snatch it with a C-130. I didn't even think about that. They could use a Piper Cub, or a twin-engine Cessna, or a Cherokee Warrior 2 with a hook on the back of it. Or they could use any one of 100 different military aircraft. They could use a helicopter over the thing with a hook. That's a great point. Thank you for bringing that up. They didn't have to shoot it down. They didn't have to worry about it landing. They have a million ways they could have grabbed that balloon. Now that I think about it, and I didn't think about it until Servalana said it, they could have snatched that balloon with a hook, a sky hook, a grappling hook. The whole balloon that you show on the ground, the people, the men on the ground are holding up the whole balloon, and it's wet. They're holding up a balloon the size of a football field, and it's a wet balloon. It only weighs about 40 pounds. The Ukrainian president. We'll get to that in a minute. Craig, we are all nut jobs. LOL, baby. That's true. Except that when I posted the information that there were no satellites, I was deemed crazy until the big crying baby in Cebu with the egotistical, maniacal self-indulgence has to be right all the time. Until he confirmed my statement, nobody believed me. Then there was silence. Why? I don't know. In some ways, he's smarter than I am, and in many ways, he's not. I wouldn't say I'm smarter than him across the board, but when it comes to construction knowledge, not with construction project, because he's got money, because he plays with the big boys in money-wise. No, don't worry about that. And he had, but he has money, but he doesn't know anything in construction. Well, he knows how to build a molecular science laboratory. He knows how to do that. He knows about ventilation. He knows about scientific protocol. I don't know anything like that. But construction, for him to actually do it, go out and get a skill saw and build a box, not so much. He knows how to do this stuff on a grand scale. That I'll give him. But not when it comes, well, when I said there are no satellites. When I say the earth is flat and water seeks its own level, and he goes, I'm a nutcase. Water seeks its own level. Everywhere in this flat earth, water seeks its own level. But he wants to deny it because he is part of the New World Order. You may not understand what does it take to become part of the New World Order? It just takes to go along with their agenda. You don't have to deny their agenda. You just have to go along with their agenda. Deny it one time, you lose your job. Any airline pilot that I'm friends with, I don't give out their name. I don't tell you the name of their channel. I have now 3 people that fly big things. Big things. Worth hundreds of millions of dollars in some case, down to $20 million plus dollars. And they are commercial pilots. And they all confirm that the earth is flat. Who are they? Doesn't matter who they are. They all confirm all 3 of them. My pilot instructor didn't say it, but proved it with the gyroscopes, which we've talked about before. The earth is flat. He knows it's flat. He denies that it's flat because if he admitted that it was flat, he'd lose his job. And that's a big amount of money that he makes. So in that respect, I can understand it. But to call me a nutcase because I say the earth is flat, that I don't understand. See, he has to make me wrong to make him look like the big man on campus, as Flying Circus says. Well, he's not the big man on campus. He's a government shill. Remember that. Warren is back in the chat. Only an Australian would call somebody a cobber. Scott Del Fuego, I am good, my friend. How are you? Soon time to let the pea coal fire go out. I am good, Dennis, and thank God I'm over winter totally. Scott was out in the blizzard the other day. Okay, let's go. I'm going through the comments that I can read. Now, Craig Jacob, I said Elon Musk is another fraud. Look, there's no dude, nobody. All right, first of all, yeah, he's brilliant. And yeah, he's putting stuff out. It seems like every 3 days he's coming out with a robot or an electronic truck or now Starlink. He made spaceships that land vertical. He's a genius. But he's part of the New World Order. Because I heard him say that the earth is round. That's nonsense. I don't believe it. Okay, you can believe it if you want, but I don't believe the earth is round. I don't believe it's a big giant globe because water seeks its own level. And a brief summation, a spinning ball, 1,038 miles at the kilometer, 1,038 miles per hour, spinning around at the equator. How does the water stick to it? It doesn't make any sense. It's called density is why the water stays where it does. But there's no way. All the oceans of the world are basically connected to one another, and water seeks its own level. You can go down the Mississippi River for 1,000 miles Or is it the Amazon? I think it's the Amazon River. For 1,000 miles, it only drops a foot, which would mean from this point to this point, the Amazon River only drops 1 foot in height. But in order to get from this point to this point, or this point to this point, the water would have to go over a curve like that, 1,600 feet high. No, 16,000 feet, 3 miles high. So, if water seeks its own level and the Amazon River flows downhill 1,000 miles and only drops 1 foot, the water would have to go up over the curb 16,000 feet and back down. Plus, the Amazon River has tributaries in multiple directions that it would have to go up and over hundreds or thousands of feet. It's not possible for the Earth to be a spinning ball at 25,000 miles in diameter. I got to do another flat Earth video this week. It wouldn't be the first time I've heard that Elon is a huge fraud, Michael. No, he's the face of new technology. Come on, man. Yeah, I mean, he knows he just allowed, I forgot what it was on Twitter, but he just allowed something that I totally didn't agree with, that he didn't agree with, but he allowed it. And he allowed somebody back on Twitter, or he knocked somebody off of Twitter. I don't remember what it was, because I don't Twitter, I don't tweet. But he did something really, really wrong on Twitter. And now he's going to allow some guy called Mr. Beast, the head YouTuber in the world, to run Twitter, which I don't know is good or bad. I have no idea who the man. I never watched his video. Young man, that's for sure. And he's worth billions of dollars. So I don't know. But Elon is not the wonderful man. Just like Joe Rogan is a complete fraud. 20 years ago, Joe Rogan would have swore on his children that we didn't go to the moon. And now he's not so sure. Because he makes $75,000 per show. He's not giving that up. To sit there and smoke pot and smoke cigars and drink brandy, he's not giving up $75,000 an hour. He's going to go along with the Matrix. Oh, talking about the Matrix, whatever happened to that guy Andrew Tate, who was the most famous man in the whole world, and they shut him down? I don't even see his name anymore anywhere. Why? I don't know why, but this is how they shadow ban me to the same level. They shadow banned me where my videos used to go worldwide and global, and now I'm in a box with 150 worthless YouTubers from the Philippines. Most of them are worthless. You got that guy who can't walk a mile in his own shoes, claiming to be a Philippines blogger. He hasn't been in the Philippines in 10 years. He never posts anything about the Philippines. He doesn't post anything about the prices of food or where he lived or where he used to live. He has no videos. He had no videos at the time that he lived in the Philippines. Yet he's a Philippines. Well, he's a fraud. They're cheap. They're cheap, all right. They won't give a thumbs up. The shill. Okay, I think if I'm right, that's Jay Stillman, the shill. Hey, Jay. Yeah, I don't care whether you like me or not. I don't like what you did either. So we're even over there. So the shill. I don't like you, Fazio, but I've been in the communication industry for a long time. And I know about the sea cables. There's cables in Manila. Huge. Even Filipinos don't know who put them there. Okay, thanks, Jay. You have no reason not to like me at all, Jay. But if you want to go along with that narrative, that's fine. Thanks for stopping by. I've never had two words with you. But you did try to destroy my reputation. I won't forget that. Not that I care about doing anything about it, but you tried to destroy my reputation in my life, and you knew it was a fraudulent thing to do right from the get-go. So you saying you don't like me? That's cool. I'm okay with that. But you tried to destroy me. I didn't try to destroy you. Just remember that. So even my adversaries in the past, even my past adversaries like this fellow, the shill, even he who does not like me, even he who tried to destroy my good reputation as a blogger and a person in the Philippines, even he will agree that there are undersea cables. See how the truth, anybody that goes against the truth, I mean, there are thousands of articles and things like that. You don't, that he doesn't like me. I will give the shill the opportunity to put up on the board why he doesn't like me. Please, by all means, Jay, if you're still here, put it up on the board why you don't like me. I welcome you to do that. No matter what he says, don't remove the comment unless it's pornography or a threat. Well, don't even remove the threat. Just leave it on the board. So, Jay, I'm going to give you your opportunity to say why you don't like me. Let's see what you got. Because you have no real reason to dislike me. I've never said a bad word about you that I can remember. Other than you tried to destroy my reputation, I don't know what you have against me. Well, my moral turpitude is completely different than your moral turpitude, but I've never conflicted with you per se on your moral turpitude. So why is it? Tell us why you don't like me. Please, by all means. Put it on the board. I'll leave it in the comments. I'll let you have your say. Wow, I'm a little bit behind in the comments. Comic Coin Gallery. How's it going, Mr. Fazio? I've been growing my beard and hair now for 8 months. Hopefully I will look like Rabbi soon. Boy, I want to tell you something, dude. That's a look to be remembered. Everybody should grow a beard and long hair once in their life, then cut it off and realize how much better life is with short hair. Because the hair is hot all the time, and the beard, working in the forest and cutting trees down with a chainsaw and everything that falls out of the trees, the bugs, the ants, the cockroaches, they all get stuck in your beard. It's nasty. It's really, growing a beard, a long beard like I had, is just a nasty, it's a dirty thing. Rabbi Chewbacca. Okay, so Joe Biden is dumb. He's as bad, almost as bad as Trump. Trump is a fraud too. Now Scott says hold on a minute. Hold on. Yeah. Hello. Mein Buntheit. Yes, I am. Hold on. Let me get you some change. Hold on a minute. I have a big package. I like to give them a tip. Hello? Thank you. Hello? Ma'am? Is that from Michael Fazio? Hello? Sir, yes or no? Sir, yes or no? Is that for me? Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. One last. Oh, that's all. How many people? Ooh, hold on a minute. Okay. I'm gonna have to hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. You guys. Oh boy. You guys are gonna have to hold on for about 5 minutes. I gotta go do something. Today's Sunday. Yeah, well, we don't put I have to get ready. Okay? Mario. Mario here? Don? happened. That happened. You know, what happened was, today is Sunday. And I did not get a notice that they were having a package delivered today. I was short 1,000. It was 1,000 pesos. I was short 1,000 pesos. I had to go borrow it from one of the Filipino neighbors, my landlord, actually. So, okay. Okay, so I don't know what you guys heard and what you didn't hear. I had a package delivered. They've never come on Saturday or Sunday. And so I didn't know who was outside with a package. Normally that never happened before. So there was a bill of 1,003 pesos. So I had no money because I paid my rent and just used up most of the money for the rent, and I planned on going to the bank on Wednesday or Thursday. I don't need any money. I have 500 pesos. That's plenty. But I had to borrow my money, the money from my landlord, 1,000 pesos, which she was happy to loan it to me. So that's my story for that. So let's go back to the comments. And then, okay, Cosmic Coin Gallery. Okay, we're going to get some information here. Okay, so, whoa, we're a lot. I'm going to get through. Okay, Scott. Scott says the Ukrainian Defense Minister, Servilana, that was my last comment. Servilana says they could have snagged the falling balloon with a C-130. That's true. The Ukrainian Defense Minister says Scott Del Fuego was quoted as, "We fight not only Ukraine." The Ukrainian Defense Minister was quoted as "We fight not only just for Ukraine, but for the New World Order." Oh, so Ukraine is on the side of the New World Order. That's I didn't see that article, but you could post a link to that if you like. Yeah, I laughed my butt off when they said they couldn't find it in the dark. I guess that's the balloon. Scott Del Fuego says, LOO, I don't think I'd be insulted being called crazy by people that have no ability to question conventional ideas that get shoved down the throat of the masses. Yeah, that doesn't bother me that they call me crazy. It bothers me that all of these people are uneducated and they follow through with the same ridiculous mindset. That's what bothers me, that there are so many people that are uneducated in this world, and you try to educate them and you can't, because you live in a shack, sir. You live in a shack, so you can't be smarter than me. But I can, and I am. So let's find out why. By now we should have an answer from the shill why he doesn't like me. A lot of people are book smart, but no real life practical knowledge, especially when it comes to building stuff. I think that might have been the end of the sentence. I don't know. To feeding themselves. Yeah, like he has seen the curvature. No one's ever seen the curvature. Nobody. It doesn't curve. Thanks, Bite 008. I fly my magic dragon, and even while I'm in my travels through my special world, it is clear that the earth is flat. Okay. Look, if you don't believe the earth is flat, that's fine. But you can't prove it's round. That's true. And what's more upsetting is that there are thousands of examples that could be used to prove the earth is flat, and no examples to prove it's round. There's no proof whatsoever the earth is round. in $30 trillion that we gave NASA, $30 trillion since the 60s, that we gave NASA, we haven't one picture of Earth from orbit, from another star, from the moon, from a ship leaving Earth's orbit for the sun. We don't have one picture. It's all CGI. Craig Jacobs says, Scott, I know, right? They call themselves the science. Last I heard when I was in school, science is all about questions and proofs. Proofs that can be repeated. Proofs that can be repeated. Yeah, the rivers flow uphill, LOL. No rivers among us. I'm such a big fan of the alpha male. Fazio, you are my real dad. Islam. Now, I have a fan base. Yes, the Mississippi River has several locks to adjust for the elevation. Okay, but I misquoted the Mississippi as instead of the Amazon. I actually meant the Amazon. The Amazon has no locks. Oh, these people don't know how the Panama or Suez Canal works. There are interesting questions. For example, gravitational force is insufficient to hold a marble stable and secure on a flat surface, spinning at Earth's rate. But if you put it on a turntable, but not if you put it on a turntable. Well, that was putting all the marbles on the table. You ever hear the expression, let's put all the marbles on the table? Scott just put all the marbles on the turntable. Very good, Scott. Very good. Mike Dowdy. Speaking of rivers, how does the Nile and the New River both flow north? The opposite of other rivers. I have no... I've heard of that, but I don't know. Mike, you can explain that. He's still in jail. I have no idea what that means. Byte 008. Mike, because they start uphill in the mountains and flow downhill. Okay. Well, I actually, if you gave me $1 million, I would not have known or remembered that the Nile River flows north. But that kind of information, all I know is that water seeks its own level and water rolls downhill. That's what I know. Rabbi Chewbacca, says Craig Jacob, thank you. People in Manila, says Mike Dowdy. People in Manila don't know how these cables got there because they don't ask what's going on. I asked a ton of people what a ship offshore was doing, and no one knew. So I checked the company. Now, Mike Dowdy, he sent me, and I can't show you the pictures, but Mike Dowdy sent me, well, without giving you his, let me see if I could do this without giving you his. He sent me pictures of the ship in the Philippines that lays the cable. Mike Dowdy did. So I think I could bring the picture up on Messenger. So he knows. Here's the photos I told you about. I don't want you to see who I'm friends with on Facebook. Okay, here. This is the cable laying ship outside of the Philippines. Mike Dowdy can fill you in on... Hold on, let me make sure I'm not showing you his page. Okay. Okay, so here's the cable laying ship in the Philippines. In the Philippines. That's another ship that sets the cable into the mud. Okay? So this is the ship that tows the plow. This one here. This one tows a plow, and the other one drops the cable for this ship to plow it into the earth. And this is the cable ship that Mike Dowdy took pictures of in the Philippines. Oop. So much for that. So, now you know who I'm friends with on Messenger. So moving past that, not that everybody knows I'm friends with Allo. Everybody knows I'm friends with Mike. Maria, you probably wouldn't know. That's my first girlfriend when I was 14 years old. Al, he's been a friend of mine, and he's a pilot, by the way, since we were children. So, let's go back. My Facebook friends are not a secret, really. I just made it out. You guys, if you know who's friends with me on Facebook, you would be surprised if I scroll down a few pages. So, Mike asked where they came from. Now, Cosmic Coin Gallery. I like that name. Mudbugs. Cosmic Coin Gallery says the reason why the shill doesn't like Fazio even escapes him. Oh, so the shill doesn't like Fazio, and he doesn't even know why he doesn't like me. Well, he may have a reason, but I would venture to say that the reason he doesn't like me is because of something he did or something somebody said. But I have no knowledge of why he would have a personal beef with me at all. So the Coin Gallery says the reason why the shill doesn't like Fazio even escapes him, even escapes the person who is named the shill. He has no clue why, and he cannot formulate a coherent moral reasoning as to why he doesn't like Michael. Some people make no sense. Now look, hey Jay, I'm going to look. I have no understanding of why you don't like me, but I wish that you would post it. I can't figure out a reason. I've not thought about it before. I thought about what you did to try to destroy my good person, but I don't know why you did it. I don't understand the reasoning behind it. And that didn't work out, did it? No, it did not. So a lot of people that try to destroy my reputation for one reason or another can't do it. Maybe that's why when someone tries to do something and it doesn't work out for them for that reason alone, that they put an effort into something, they're upset. But Jay, the shill, please post why you don't like me on the board. I'll leave it in the comments, and I'll leave it until the end of the stream, which, if you know what, if somebody could tell me where to go in YouTube to allow slander is a big deal in the Philippines. That's true. If someone could tell me how I could leave the chat window in the video when it reruns, I would appreciate that. I don't know how to do it. I really don't. That's why when my videos refresh, the chat disappears. The chat is still available, but I don't know what buttons to push. So if someone could tell me how to do that, I will leave the chat in the videos. Cosmic Gallery says the reason why the shill doesn't like Fazio even escapes him. He has no clue why and can't formulate a coherent moral reasoning as to why he doesn't like Michael, period. Some people make no sense. Thank you. Okay, that's true. Now, Craig Jacob, relaxing on a Saturday evening and eating Oklahoma onion burgers. Oklahoma onion burgers. Oklahoma is a big place that they grow onions. I've been out of the United States 8 years and 2 months. I've been out of New York since '93. I didn't know that Oklahoma was an onion producing state. But Oklahoma onion burgers, that sounds good. If it has the word burger in the sentence, I'm all in. I made some congolarium. Because I did not want to go out. Edible but not great. I think that's when you put everything in the refrigerator together and you make it warm. The shill. The truth is, I really love everybody. Okay, Jay, thanks. I don't, Jay, I don't care about what you did. It didn't work. But I don't, and bygones, let bygones be bygones, because nothing came of it. So thanks for coming back and saying that you love everybody. I love you too, Jay. I love you, man. Thanks, Jay. Just finished the stream. Just finished a steaming bowl of crawfish. Says DNC is in the house. Thanks for stopping by, DNC. Among Us. I'm such a big fan. I love you too. Among Us. Illy Alpha Male Construction. Fazio, you are my real dad. Illism. Symbol of, I don't know what that. Hey, thanks, Among Us. So, the government is sending us all to the poorhouse, and that it is. It's doing everything it can to destroy the middle class. And for those of you who waited the 5 minutes that I had to go get my package, let's open this bad boy up. Let's find out what's in the bag. And I'll read the comments as I open it up. To the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes. Anytime you want to put some serious money, because you have a backer that puts money in your pocket on a monthly, from what I understand, on a monthly basis for 4 years now. I don't know if that's still going on. For the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes, anytime you want to bet serious money, I will go to immigration. I will wager you, let's say, $10,000 cash money that I can walk further than you can walk. And you want to make fun of the wounds on my leg? Do I make fun of the dent in your head? No, I don't. I never did, but being that you want to make the infection on my leg a big issue, we could go there if you want. So let's find out. Regular guy. Hey, regular guy. Hey, buddy. I saw your comment the other day. Okay, regular guy. If you are at a certain point on Earth and you head east or west, you will end up at your starting point, correct? Yes. East or west, yes. North or south, no. Nile flows from higher elevation to lower elevation. That higher elevation happens to be south, says DNC. Okay, so, see, I don't know every detail of everything, and I'm willing to learn. Now, will I remember that the Nile flows from north to south? No, I won't remember that, because it's not part of my Flat Earth, Fazio Flat Earth video necessary information. But maybe I will remember mud bugs. Mud bugs are something that has to do with what DNC. Crawfish etouffee. Okay, mud bugs, right. Those are the little crawfish from like that big to like that big. Yeah, those are good. I had those. I don't remember where I had them, but I did eat those at one point in my life. Yes, Scott. Craig Jacob says, had 3 pounds a couple of days ago with the corn and sausage boiled with them. That's a southern dish. and they were delicious. I had mud bugs just as mud bugs. I don't know what's in this bag. I really don't know what's in this bag. Whatever it is, I ordered it a long time ago. It seems to have... I don't know that you're going to get to see this, because I don't know what's in the bag. I don't know what's in the bag, and it's nothing bad. It come from Lazada. Can't be bad. Could be something I don't want to show you though. Whatever it is, it seems to be four of them. Oh man, this doesn't ring a bell at all. This does not ring a bell. I gotta tell you. 4 canisters. Of what? I can't smell it. Ah! 4 cans of ether. Okay, now I remember what it was. I've been working on a big diesel engine repair, and the injectors on the diesel engine, they can't be got. You can't get the injectors anywhere. I went to Cebu. They said go to Manila. I tried to order them online, and not possible. So I don't think once I get the engine back together, I don't know how much trouble it's going to be to start it up. So I ordered some starting fluid. No, I'm not gonna. I don't plan on doing surgery, Scott. Oh, I can't get it out of the package because on top of being in the package, it's got tape on it. Do you know that until this year, because I do a lot of work on motor work, until this year, they did not have starting fluid anywhere on Lazada or Shopee. So these 4 cans, $5 per can, but it's $1.37 per can to ship it. So actually each can, $1.37 would be $3.63, right? 363 plus 137 would be 363, 370, 47. So it'd be $3.63 per can, and then $1.37 for the shipping. So anyway, you can't buy this stuff anywhere in the Philippines. No automotive store in Bohol or Cebu. If you go in and ask for the generic name starting fluid, they have no idea what starting fluid ether is. None at all. They don't have a clue. Hey, I saw that comment about huffing. They have no clue what starting fluid is. Not only do they not know what starting fluid is, when you tell them what you want to use it for, I had to bring something, not from here, but from another part of Bohol. I had to bring an engine to a machine shop. They had to do work on the engine. So when I said to the fella that owns the machine shop, where do you get the parts from? He goes, you go to Cebu. I'm going, me? I don't own it. Why do I have to go to Cebu? You go to Cebu. I'll pay you to go to Cebu to get the parts. No, sir. So I had to go to Cebu to look for parts for an engine that I couldn't get. I went to 4 places in Bohol. Then I went to 3 places in Cebu. That's 7. They sent a scout out to 12 more places in Cebu. The scout came back after 3 hours. Daisy and I waited in the shop. And after 3 hours, we had lunch and we talked and we did this, that, and the other thing. And then after 3 hours, they came back and said, sir, you go to Manila. Just go to Manila. Not an address, not a phone number, not a name of a business. Just go to Manila and look for those parts. So I asked the fellow in the machine shop, where can I get ether? He goes, ether? What is ether? The machine shop operator. So I said, starting fluid. Oh, he goes, oh, you don't need starting fluid? You can use brake fluid, which they do here. They use brake fluid. But it just doesn't have the same, you guys might not understand this, but it's called flash point. Brake fluid might have a flash point of, I don't know, 400 degrees. Starting fluid has a flash point of maybe 270 degrees. So starting fluid works better than brake fluid for an initial startup. But it also wipes the oil off the cylinder walls. So brake fluid is better in some respects, but we're not getting involved. And this is what the big egotistical maniac, that he knows how to build laboratories that work with molecular science, and I know about the low end of construction and how to fix and repair motors and how to build stuff. He has no clue. He's already admitted to me that his construction skills with tools are not much. Not nothing, but not much. But he knows how to build a nuclear laboratory. So everybody has their own forte. So right now, so that I'm glad I got this stuff. Now I have to bring it to the. I have an engine in a shop in Bohol, a big machine shop. They said it would be done this week. Then I got to get that engine to the machine, and the scaffolding. They took the scaffold down to do construction. Anyway, I built a wooden scaffold over the machine, and they took the 2x4s. I spent like 2 days building a wooden A-frame over the machine, and they took. I went there last week and told them the motor's almost ready. I had to pick up money, and I went. I'm going. Where's my A-frame? They used it to build scaffolding for the house. And well, now I have to build another set of. Yes, sir. Okay, you want me to build another scaffold? I'll build another A-frame. But they know not to take the A-frame off the machine. They know that, but they don't care. So moving back, let's get to the comments. I got my $5 a can. That's actually quite cheap because these are 12-ounce cans at least. 12.3 ounces. Even in America, those cans were down to 11 ounces. So this is a big can. And I saw your comment about huffing stuff. It's yeah, but Michael, you could make your own windshield wiper fluid, Michael. Out of you could make your own Windex out of vinegar and water. works just fine. You could put a few drops of soap in the mix. Just look online how to make your own windshield washer fluid. They have online you could get anything you want. So you could make your own windshield washer fluid for next to nothing. A gallon of vinegar is 100 pesos, 125. It's $2.50 for a gallon. And you could make a gallon of water and a few drops of soap and or an additive, another additive like soap. So you could make 2 gallons for about $3. Or no, 2 gallons for $2.50 because water's free and soap might cost you 2 cents. I would never buy windshield wiper fluid. One 1,003 pesos, Dennis, divided by 4. So that's 20. You're $5 a can, but $1.37 of that was shipping. They charge $1.37 per can for shipping. Yes. So whatever 1,000 pesos is, well, I could look that right up right now. I'm waiting for the dollar to go up to 56 pesos. It's 55 pesos to the dollar now. 55.307. Okay. It's okay. Well, I got a 50. This is what I got as the current dollar rate. I think it's going to go up to 56. I converted $2,000 last week. I earned $40, and I'm going to convert some more money this week. And so if it goes up, if it touches 55, I'll just convert the rest of it. But I think it's going to go to 56, and I don't know why. I just get an insight into stuff like that. It could. It went up to 56. I transferred a shitload of it. When it was 56 last month. And but I have to wait. I had to wait for money to become available. It's available now. I transferred 2,000 last week, but I was at 54.56. I transferred 2,000. So now we're at 55.3075. So the value of the peso is better this week than it was last week. Well, I don't care if it goes up to 60. Damn, I'm gonna wish that I moved more money. That would be. So let's get back to the video. Okay, so let's go to the comments. That's right. At the hospitals here, the nurses don't necessarily go to the pharmacy. There's a pharmacy in every hospital, but like when I was in the hospital 2 months ago for my leg, they gave me a prescription, and I had to get the prescription the day that I was at the hospital and the night. So I had now if I couldn't walk, they would give me a wheelchair and have somebody wheel me to the pharmacy. Can you walk? Yes. I says okay. So you go get the medicine. So I had to go get the medicine, which is cool. Craig Jacob. I think that Daisy has a Facebook page. If you want to go say hello to Daisy, if you're her friend, you might be able to do that. And then you could ask Daisy herself. Acetone. Acetone, you can't buy acetone in the Philippines, DNC. Acetone does not actually work as good as starting fluid, but they don't sell acetone here. They might sell it in a paint shop, You know what? I think you're right. I think you could buy acetone in a paint shop, but they don't sell acetone at an automotive shop. Like you would mix acetone in with certain paint to thin it out or to clean the tools. But so when I wanted the starting fluid, when I went to buy the parts there, they did not have starting fluid. They said use brake fluid. I asked them about acetone, and if they carry it, they didn't have it in stock. But I think you can buy acetone from Build-A-Well. I think they have it. I think you're right about it. And you could use acetone. Yes, Flying Circus. They have a category called the gag reflex inventory list. You can buy spurnips and or spur eggs. You can buy that at a special discounted price when summer comes along. Yeah, they have Lazada sells spurnips. That's right. Uh-oh. We had a troll. Forex predicts 63 by 2025. That would be 2025. That's a long time away, boy. Let me tell you, Craig Jacob, let me tell you something about the pharmacies here. I just showed this to Scott this morning. Okay. This is 400 milligram ibuprofen. These are 34 pesos each. That's about 68 cents. We'll just double the peso. These are 68 cents a piece. This is ibuprofen 400 milligram, 68 pesos each piece. This is ibuprofen 400 milligram tablets. These are 3 pesos, 3.5 pesos each. These are 100. These are 2 pesos each. That's 4 cents a piece, excuse me. So this ibuprofen is 15 times the price as this ibuprofen. This is a pill, this is a gel. But this price of 38 pesos was not the highest price. At some point during the lockdown, there was no ibuprofen. Some places had this for 45 pesos each pill, 90 cents a pill. But it's a pretty green. So some places had it at 90 cents a pill, but I did find it later on. The malls carry this. GNC carries this pill, but most of the stores were out. But for my medicine, the ciprofloxacin for my leg wound, will go down, and one store had it for 650 pesos, $13 for 21 pills. One had it for 650 pesos, $13. One had it for 200 pesos, $4. One had it for 100 pesos, $2. And one had it for 64 pesos, $1.30. So 64 pesos was what I paid for it. But some places had it for 650 on the same block right across from the hospital. So if you go to one store across the street from the hospital, the same ciprofloxacin, generic brand, was 64, but the non-generic brand was 650, 10 times the price. So there was a difference, but you gotta shop. You gotta shop. Watson's Yeah, but the thing with Watson's is 90% of the time you can go to 12 pharmacies and they won't have your stuff. 90% of the time, Watson's will have it. So, in that respect, they have more stock. Now, ciprofloxacin, actually, I didn't go and ask them because Watson's is usually twice the price on anything across the board. But they have stock. So, let's see what else we have. Comments? Well, yeah, that Craig Jacob, ciprofloxacin is about as strong as it gets, but that's what knocked the infection out of my leg. I took one dose starting November 7th for 7 days. And that knocked the infection out of my leg, which took a year. Well, I had been taking other medications for a year. Every 60 days, they gave me a new medication. So every 60 days, I got a new medication because they give you an antibiotic and then they make you wait 60 days before they'll give you a different one. So 6 times, they tried 6 medications in the previous year. None of them knocked the infection. They stagnated the infection, but they didn't knock the infection out. 1 dose of ciprofloxacin knocked it out of my leg since November 14th. Well, actually, I took it for 10 days because I didn't take the dose recommended. They recommended 750 milligrams per twice a day, but the pharmacies, no pharmacy had 750 milligram pills. Nobody in at all. So 7 days, 750 milligrams is the same dose as 21 pills. 14 750s is the same dose as 21 500s. So what I did was I took the 750 milligram by cutting pills in half for the first 3 days, and then after that I took a 500 in the morning and a 500 at night. So my dose lasted 10 days, not 7. And then since then, the infection has continuously cleared up. Day by day, it goes away. So the wound on my leg that was this big and this deep, 1/4 of an inch deep and 3.5 inches wide, is now this big and flush with the skin, has a scab on it. And the one that was in the front that was this big is now this big. And the one that was in the very front of the leg that was this big is gone. You don't even see it, skin. So I had 3 major wounds on my leg. 3.5 went down to 1 5/8 and flush. 2.5 went down to an inch and flush. 1.25 went down to gone. That was from 1 dose of ciprofloxacin. But I will tell you this. I'm going to tell you something. When you start taking ciprofloxacin, you're going to need a bathroom nearby. If you're taking it, if you take it in the morning and you run out of the house, you better be near a bathroom about an hour later, because you're going to need a bathroom. It's going to happen. Not only that, you're going to need a bathroom twice before 10 o'clock in the morning. If you take it at night and you have dinner, you're going to need a bathroom twice before you go to sleep. It turns your average density of your stool, it turns it into, I wouldn't call it toothpaste. It would be more like Campbell's chicken soup. And there's no way to stop it. Once you realize that you have to use the restroom, chances are, if you're not in a restroom or inches away from one, chances are, if you realize you have to use the restroom after you take the pill, chances are you're going to need that restroom within 45 seconds. That's true. And it's not toothpaste. It's not something you could, no, you can't do that. Nope, can't do that. You're going to need to use that. You need to be next to a bathroom. Now, if you're out walking around, in my bag, what happened to my bag? In my bag, we always have, this is what's left of a roll. We'll let you know I was on a roll. I always carry personal toilet paper in my bag because having taken all that medicine for the last 4 years, I came to the conclusion, better to be safe than wet. Now, I'll tell you the best place in, I hate to do this to you, but the best bathroom in Bohol to use for a restroom, the best. The cleanest bathrooms in Bohol are in the ICM Mall. The cleanest bathrooms in Bohol are in the ICM Mall. Now, the bathrooms in the BQ Mall, they're pretty clean. They're relatively clean. But if you have to go to the bathroom, sit down. There's always somebody in the bathroom at the ICM Mall. If you can hold on to it, and do your business at the ICM. Now, you won't get a water gun at the ICM or the BQ Mall. You won't get a water gun to clean up your business, but and most restaurants don't have a water gun, which is a really nice way to take care of business. But there are restaurants that do have that, the water gun. It's just a thought. But I just want you to know that if you're going to take... So this fella says he had a bad reaction to ciprofloxacin. Could have been an allergic reaction. Could have been the chicken soup syndrome. I'm telling you, it doesn't... From a standard operating procedure dump to chicken soup in 45 minutes. Yep. Chicken soup. No clinching, no good. No. Greg Jacobs says he's been fighting a bone infection for 4 years. Now, I know what that's like. I've had the infection on my leg. 1.5 years on my foot and 2.5 years on my leg. Mike Dowdy, if he's still in the chat, he had the same infection on his leg, worse than mine. And he had the money in the United States to go into a hospital for 21 days and take intravenous because he was in the States. But they have no such thing here in the Philippines. I inquired about going into the hospital on a drip, and I said to them, well, what antibiotics? Because I had already taken, there's 26 antibiotics. I had already taken every one of them. Which one are you going to use? Well, we'll just have to keep trying. I said, so I would have to stay in the hospital and try one for how long? 14 days. And how much is each day in the hospital? $2,000 US. 91,000 pesos a day. For the drip, the doctor, the hospital, the room, and the medication. $2,000 a day. I said, well, which medicine are you going to use? Oh, no, so we have to We have to figure that out. I'm going, so how would you figure it out? Well, we'll give you one for 2 weeks and see what happens. I says, and if that one doesn't work, then we'll put you on a different. So I could be in the hospital for a month? Yes, that's 60,000 US dollars. Yes, sir. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass on that. And the procedure was, you sign into the hospital on day one. They do your tests on that day. You wait the second day for the test results to come back, and on the third day, they prescribe. You have to do a culture. On the third day, they start your drip. So you're in the hospital for 2 full days, 4,000 US dollars before they give you the drip. And they're only based on what the culture comes back as. You don't want to be in a hospital in the Philippines. No, I just, no one knows what the infection is from, DNC. Oh, the bone infection from Craig. I don't know. Yeah, Brazil with regatta lopes. I'm sure if you start and wash yourself, the infection will be fine. You live in a toilet where you cook and sleep. Yep, that's right. And you are just coming to my channel to harass me. So that comment, I'm going to leave it up on the board. And if it happens again, I will block you. Okay? Now, in fact, I know who you are. I've seen you on other channels. Let's just get rid of all trolls right now. Hide the user on this channel. Umping Permy. I don't need you on my channel. What happened there? Umping Permy. That didn't go away. Huh. Why won't that comment disappear? Remove it. I'm not getting any love here. Okay, moving on. God wants you to be on my channel. Get a cork. All the community needs is another skid mark. Nice one. No taboo. No taboo. Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks, Scott. If you go to the bathroom in ICM or BQ, I'm going to tell you right now, they don't supply toilet paper, but you can buy toilet paper outside the bathroom in a dispenser. If you want to use water, you have to bring your own bottle. So, no. So if you go and you forget, you could use your underwear or your shirt. But you're going to need something, right? Yeah, they have no Cabo and no toilet paper. But you can buy toilet paper and you have a sink if you want. I carry a 1-quart bottle, a 1-liter plastic bottle, and I fill it up if I have to go in the bathroom. The channel does not exist. Thanks, Dennis. No, they don't need to be here. So I'm not going to deal with trolls anymore. Listen, this is my channel. If Brazil Lopes wants to start a channel and talk smack about me, be my guest. No trolls on my channel. Forget that. Jay the shill said, I don't like you, Fazio. But that's a legitimate statement. He's allowed to have an opinion. But to start degrading me because my toilet is in my living room, in my kitchen, not going to happen. Those troll comments are going to just make you disappear. I don't care. I never cared and I'm never going to care. Scott knows that. Yeah, well, are you in the Philippines, Craig Jacob? Yes, ciprofloxacin kills or alters the bacteria in your gut in 45 minutes. I was in Cebu Doctor's Hospital for almost 6 months before they released me, and I came back stateside. You know, Craig, I had an infection on my foot that was almost down to the bone. This is true. Now, I couldn't get rid of it. It wouldn't go away. I took the antibiotics every 60 days. They changed it. This goes back to 2016. Okay. It wouldn't go away in the Philippines. I went to America, and it went away in 63 days. It went away. Came back to the Philippines, and the infection came back. Then, after a year, it went away, and then I got an infection on my leg. Different infection altogether. Different skin irritation, different types of blistering, different types of skin loss. Completely different. The two infections, according to the cultures, were different things, and no one knows what it was, and no one knows how to cure it. The ciprofloxacin was something I took 2 years ago. The doctor even remembered. There's a doctor that's been treating me for 3 years, local doctor. So I went back to him with Daisy in September, and he saw my wound. He goes, "And you're going to have to try something different." And he said, "Try going to a hospital. Get another culture. Upgrade your culture, because your culture is a year old." So I did, and the culture came back with a different bacterium. The culture came back with Stewarte provincia. The other infection was something else altogether. So they gave me ciprofloxacin November 7th, and by November 17th it was healing. It was healing in 10 days. It was healing in 3 days. The infection went away. The swelling, the leg swelling, it all went away, and it's gone now. It's gone. The infection is now gone, and just a scab, and the normal meat is just healing up, and it's encroaching on the wound. It's going away. Mike Dowdy, 13 different IV antibiotics, 21 days, and still didn't heal completely for 6 months. Okay, so they put him on a cocktail. Hey, LaRue, thanks for stopping by. Somebody please put LaRue Segrest's URL, channel link up there, please, because LaRue is a beautiful Filipino woman that speaks perfect English and Visaya and does blogs. So, and she's our friend. I don't watch that kind of video, but I did, and she's a sweetheart. And I want everybody that wants to watch videos about the Philippines from a Filipina to go to LaRue's channel and subscribe to her channel, please. Hello, LaRue. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you, LaRue. The Philippines has some nasty infections. One hip had staph, and the other had something else. Yeah, I think it's all warm countries. I don't know anything about the VA. I was never in the service, so I wouldn't know anything about that. I know they took care of my dad. He was a paratrooper, and they spent a lot of money keeping my dad alive, and they kept him alive for a long time and healthy. So I won't ever say anything bad about the VA. My dad went to the VA once a week, and he got all the medicines he needed. He had I forgot the name of the thing he had. Diabetes. He had diabetes. And he my dad had his own theory about how to cure diabetes. My dad was a trip. My dad was a trip. He was a trip. He had the Diamond Jim Brady. He used to call him Diamond Jim Brady. He ate everything he wanted and died a happy man. My father, when you have diabetes, I don't know anything about that either. People say you have diabetes. I don't have diabetes. But my dad, you're not supposed to eat carbohydrates like spaghetti. You're not supposed to drink Coca-Cola. You're not supposed to eat candy unless you have low blood sugar. So hypoglycemia, hypoglycemia, you have to put sugar into somebody right away to get them back. My dad had a theory. If he eats a pound of spaghetti, instead of taking whatever the dosage was, maybe 80, I don't remember the dosages. The dosage might be 80, like normal in the morning, normal at night. My dad would eat a pound of spaghetti, take 120. That's how he balanced out his blood sugar. And he lived from the age of 38 when he was diagnosed with diabetes. He lived to be 74 years old. In fact, the death of his anniversary is two days ago, February 17th of 2004. But his theory was, I can eat a pound of spaghetti because I have enough insulin to take extra. Because he got it from the VA for free. So for me, when I would go to the VA, it was kind of like an outing for him. He had all his friends there, and he never complained about the VA hospital. So I wouldn't know to say anything negative about them, because my father loved the doctors there. Plus it was free. And so they kept him alive eating like that. He would have a pound of spaghetti with 2 cans of anchovy spaghetti, and then he'd have a Coca-Cola on ice with that, and then he'd sit on his chair, take his blood, check his blood, prick his finger with his blood checker, and then fool around with the dosage to 50% more than normal. And then he would check that at 7 o'clock, and then he would reach underneath his chair and get his box of Mike and Ike's or chocolate kisses, or he would say, Fran, get me a chocolate bar. My mom had them stashed. Fran, get me a chocolate bar. Tom, you're not supposed to eat chocolate. Fran, I pay the bills in this house. Please get me a chocolate bar. Thank you. They had a routine that they did. My mom would make him aware that he wasn't supposed to have a chocolate bar, and then he would say, please, and then she would bring him in a chocolate bar, or half a chocolate bar. That really pissed him off. Tom, just a half a chocolate bar tonight, because we're running out of chocolate. Fran, go to the store and buy chocolate tomorrow. Chocolate, soda. Mike and Ike's. He liked Mike and Ike's. He loved Mike and Ike's. And he liked the Hershey's, the Nestle's chocolate bar, the big one, like a 1/2-inch thick and 4x8. And he always had it. My mom would buy those, the whole box. Fran, go to the store tomorrow and buy chocolate. So let's go here. That's a lot of pasta. My dad ate a pound. Well, yeah, it is a lot of pasta, but who can't? If you can't eat a pound of spaghetti, I feel sorry for you. A pound of spaghetti is nothing. I could. No, I am way overweight, but I could eat a pound of spaghetti without flinching an eyebrow. Right now, you know the big pie, the 18-inch pizza pie? I could eat an entire pizza pie, no problem, and 2 cans of soda, because I have a stomach that stretches. Like those people that eat food, they have, somehow they figure 100 Frankfurters. Now, I could never be part of a food contest, but I could eat an 18-inch pizza, no problem. I might eat half the pizza before I realized I ate half of it. The last time I went out for pizza with John Blaze, we got a 13-inch pie, and they cut it into 8 slices, and I had 6 of those 8 slices. And a bowl of some kind of penny pasta, which I didn't really enjoy that much. I would have rather have had the pizza, but I could eat a 13-inch pizza pie where 2 people go out and split it, and if I don't have the whole thing, I'm not satisfied. I don't do it now. I might do it tonight. If someone sends me super chat, I'll go out tonight and buy a 13-inch pizza pie at Giuseppe's, and I'll live stream it. But I don't plan on going there. But if you feel the need to watch me eat a 13-inch pie, I'll live stream the 13. Not DNC. Don't do it. DNC's been very good to me. So anyway, yeah. My dad he decided how much insulin he took based on how much food he ate. They could have fixed you for a fraction of the price. I don't know. See, here in the Philippines, the doctors that I went to were truly concerned, I believe. I actually believe, because there's just little ways that you can tell that they're concerned. Like this particular medicine that I take when I had a little bit of high blood pressure. It was 160/90. They gave me this medicine for free. That's a long time. That's back in November. So the last time I went to the hospital, my blood pressure was normal, so I don't take this anymore. But that's one way that they say that they care for you. Another way is when they dress your wound, they'll give you the ace band. They'll put a new ace bandage on it, even though I tell them, no, I don't want a new ace bandage. I have ace bandages. I have several new ones because I don't need them. I use the old one, or I use a diaper, a baby diaper with a baby absorbent towel with tape. But they'll give it to you. No, I don't need that. Thank you. And I give it back to them. And so the doctors here are truly concerned about my leg. And when I went back in January and showed the doctor my leg, how the ciprofloxacin worked, I waited in the hospital for 2 hours to show him how the infection went away. He was very happy. So he said, if you have any more problems, just let me know. So I will. But I don't. Scott Del Fuego was commenting, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. That's like the thing at night. The night, there's a knighthood saying like that. You're welcome. Good evening, says LaRue. Thank you. A pound of pasta? No problem. I eat a pound of pasta. A pound of pasta and a half a liter of sauce. No problem. I'm going to be full, but I could do it. But my stomach will stretch. Some people's stomachs would not. Yeah, they're big no-nos, all right. I had an uncle, says Dennis Adam. Louis Pagan Pumps is in the house. Hello, Louis. Let me get through this. Yeah, I saw that, Mike. I had an uncle who once had diabetes. His insulin substitute was from beehives. He would let a bee sting him twice a day. I heard about that. Actually, I did hear about that. Yeah, my dad would take, we have my dad would eat a pound of pasta, but we might make 2 pounds of pasta for dinner. We made, Friday night, my dad was a tugboat captain in the Hudson River, from Maine to Florida. He run tugboats. He worked at Battery Park City in the 1960s as the master captain on the reclamation job at the Battery Park City that they put the buildings on. Battery Park City is built on foundations and pylons and cofferdams that my dad brought the materials there. But the boats that came in from fishing, the fishing fleet boats, when he worked in Long Island and Long Island Sound, and sometimes New York Harbor, he would get the captain of a fishing vessel on the horn and say, we're looking for lobster, we're looking for flounder, we're looking for fluke, whatever was available. And on Friday, if he was coming home at a normal hour, he'd buy 5 dozen clams or 5 dozen crabs or 5 pounds of fluke or 5 pounds of flounder or lobsters, whatever was in season, he'd buy it, and we would have seafood. But if we didn't have seafood, he'd fry up breadcrumbs, brown breadcrumbs. Take 4C breadcrumbs, put it in a frying pan and brown them. Take them off the heat, put them over to the side, let them cool down. Make your spaghetti, and in ragu, regular ragu sauce, 1 quart, 2 cans of anchovies, and he would mince up a half a bulb of garlic in the ragu. And then he'd mince it up, smash it. We had a garlic smasher. He'd smash it up, put it in the ragu, put it in the saucepan, and then just before that was done, then he would put the 2 cans of anchovies in the sauce so that the anchovies would still be in chunks, and just chop it up and put it in there in chunks. And then you take the spaghetti, put it in a bowl, put the ragu with the anchovy sauce in the spaghetti, mix it up, and then you sprinkle the toasted breadcrumbs on top of that. That was delicious. Oh God, and we would eat that. If we didn't have fish or seafood, we'd have that. And but that was a Sunday and a Friday night deal. But there was a catch. There was a catch to that. You could not cook that with my mother in the house. No, not allowed. My mother she would come home from work. She had a little job in a little store, 4 hours a day. Just to get her out of the house, she wanted to. She would come home in the wintertime, and me and Dad would be sitting at the table, and the whole house would stink of fish. And the front door would open, and my father would look at me and go, oh God, here she comes. Here she comes. And my mother would slam that front door. The whole house would shake. Tom, how many times do I have to ask you, don't cook a fish? And we would be inside the kitchen laughing. We thought it was so funny. She'd come in. Before she got from the front door to the kitchen, she'd have the porch windows open, the dining room windows open. She'd walk straight to the back window, open up the back window, open up the window over the kitchen sink, close the bedroom door so the smell didn't go in the bedroom doors. It's already in the bedroom. And she'd go, how many times, Tom? How many times? Fran, I forgot. I'm sorry, Fran. I'm sorry. I'll try not to let it happen again. And we'd be sitting there laughing. He did it all the time. And I'd say, He goes, he'd look at me. We'd be in the living room, be like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Sunday, or because I lived around the corner, a block away. I'd always stop by the house. I had my tools in the house. And when I would put my tools away at the end of the day, then I'd hang out with my mom and dad. And then he'd look at me. He'd be on the floor playing cards, solitaire. He goes, "You want to make sauce?" "Yeah, Dad, let's make sauce." And then we'd make sauce. Me and him, we'd go downstairs, get a couple of cans of anchovies off the shelf. Well, my mother hated that smell. Oh, God, that upset her. No. "Friend, Craig says I like anchovies too. And artichoke hearts. Oh, yeah. My mom could not eat anchovies. She did not like anchovies. She loved artichoke hearts, though. Mike Dowdy says, someone is bored, must be hard living in hiding until Aloe leaves the Philippines. Mike, Aloe is not actively looking for anybody. He's not actively looking for anybody. Yes, freezing the chocolate bars, we put them in the refrigerator, but they turn white, DNC. They turn white when you unfreeze them. I know that trick. Yes, Mike and Ike's are the white and pink candy. Some of them are sour ones, yes. Good and Plenty. He was a Good and Plenty. That was a substitute for Mike and Ike. So he liked the Mike and Ike's. Sugar, if I eat sugar, I feel it. I feel the thickness of my sweat on my skin if I eat sugar. Skittles. You know they sell Skittles here, DNC? I bought Skittles. Not for me. I give them away as gifts. Like the person in the automotive shop that sold me $200 worth of crap that I couldn't use, and I had to go back and take but engine sealants and oils and oil additives. I got $200 back in credit, but I gave her a box of Skittles, and on the box it said there were 16 packages of Skittles. Well, there's 12 people that work at the automotive store, so I took out 4 packages for myself, and I had those packages. This goes back to September. I had those packages in a container on the shelf behind me. I never thought about them again. So then I had to go back to the store and buy more stuff from the same store. I bought another package of Skittles, another box. Because they want chocolate. Did you bring me chocolate? Now, had she given me back my money, I still would bring... I'm upset they wouldn't give me back my money. They gave me credit. Okay, I could deal with that. I still got credit for oil and stuff I'm going to use. But when I brought them back the second time, I took out 4 more packages. And for me, okay, or for somebody else that I want to give Skittles to. Okay, so I opened up a package of Skittles from the first batch, because they were in a different container. Or they were good. They were really good. They tasted like chocolate, room temperature. And a few days later, I said, I want to have some Skittles. And I went back in the second batch. They're completely different. They are completely different. There's no taste, no flavor to them whatsoever. So, in one batch was the good chocolate, creamy chocolate flavor. In the next batch, I would never buy Skittles again. Ever. Not ever again. He was ahead of his time, Scott says. Now you're supposed to adjust your bolus dose of insulin based on how many units. Yeah, but he he wasn't supposed to eat spaghetti, and he'd have a pound. So, okay. Oh, yeah. Louis Pagan Punch, thanks for stopping by. It's late for you, Louis. Thank you for stopping by. I enjoyed the hell out of our last conversation. You know I'm right, Louis. You know that. Louis and I were talking about, God forbid, and I mean God forbid. Louis is a firm believer in the Lord, and he certainly understands that the Jewish people are the chosen people. God's chosen people. No doubt Louis believes that. And I believe it too, because they happen to control everything. That's what Louis and I were talking about, how most of the Congress is controlled by Jewish members, and most lawyers, a lot of lawyers are Jewish, and a lot of doctors, and a lot of politicians, and Israel has a big say in what happens in our Congress. And Louis and I were talking about the God forbid, a meteor came down while Congress was in session and wiped out the rotunda. That would be terrible. We would have to get on our hands and knees and pray for the lost souls. And then on the same day or the same week, if there was a parliament held in England and all the politicians that go along with the New World Order, God forbid, oh, God forbid, all the politicians in England, the pundits, they all got together, and another meteor came down and hit the rotunda where the politicians, that would be like a sign from God. And we were saying, but it would be not a good sign, it would be a bad sign. So Louis and I were praying that a meteor doesn't come down and strike the parliament in Israel. I mean, in America, in Great Britain. God forbid, imagine if it hit. There was one in Israel too, all within like 3 weeks. Oh, God, we might have to get knee pads built into the front of our pants for praying to God to save all the souls of the politicians. Me and Louis were praying. We were thinking how many 10 Hail Marys and 5 Our Fathers for each politician. And there's 454 of them in America, so that would be 454. 5 times 454 is 2,060. No, 2,460. Yeah? 5 times 454. 5 times 400 is 2,000. 5 times 54 would be 2,000. 5 times 54. 5 times 454. So 5 times 4 would be 2,250 plus 20. 2,250 plus 2,240. My battery is running dead. How's that possible? Oh, my computer battery. Is that better? Uh-oh. Better now. Yeah, so 5 times 2,400, 5 times 450, 5 times 400 is 200, 5 times 50 is 250, that's 2,250, and 5 times 4, so 2,250 plus 20, 2,270 Hail Marys and Our Fathers. No, there'd be more, 2,270 Our Fathers, and then 5 times that many Hail Marys. Me and Louis figured that we'd be on our knees for about 3 months, praying for the souls of all the politicians that got wiped out in the rotunda. And then if they sorted it out at the end of the day, how many of those people were Jewish, then we would have to learn Hebrew. and pray. Or if Lewis and I, maybe we wouldn't be able to learn Hebrew. We also talked about how it might be better, instead of praying for all the Jewish politicians and Christian politicians and the Muslim politicians, instead of praying for all the politicians that died due to the 3 meteors that hit Congress and the Senate and in England and also in Israel, instead of praying, we could go and bang our head on a wall. And we could make up, like, and put the paper in the wall with our prayers. We could save a lot of time by going to the wall itself. And we could save thousands of hours of prayer and our knees from a fate worse than, than just regular pain, because that knee pain is bad pain. My Cebu doctor said, don't worry, the American government is paying, of course. Okay, so I'm going to cut this live stream short in a few minutes. No sugar 3 weeks today. Lewis, thank God we prayed in advance so that the meteors didn't hit the Senate and the Parliament. It was your prayer that tipped the scales. That's good, Michael. Yeah, my doctors cared about what I ate. I eat whole wheat angel hair now. I don't eat anything at all, carbohydrates of any kind at all. Well, at least for the last 2 months. Toasted breadcrumbs with olive oil and garlic. Oh, yeah. That's like what we put on baked clams, Craig. Yeah, that's how you make a baked clam topping. Garlic and olive oil with toasted breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs, and you put it on baked clams. You bake them. That's how you make baked clams. I made Kathy close the bedroom door. Yeah. I got reprimanded when I lived in the hotel in Cebu and also here. They didn't want me to cook dried fish. They don't like the smell of that dried fish in the hotels. When I'm officially dying, I want mussels, linguine, and white clam sauce. I love that. You eat them frozen. Flying Circus eats frozen chocolate. I don't know, Scott. I wouldn't know about whether sugar in a tank wrecks an engine or not. I know that sugar does not break down in a diesel tank. I had bought an engine that did not run, a diesel engine. The guy said that it doesn't run. So, well, what's wrong with it? He goes, it just stopped. I said, well, was it running? He goes, yeah. And I says, well, what happened to it when it stopped? He goes, it just stopped. He goes, I'm going to buy it was a water pump. It says, okay, how much do you want for it? The pump itself was worth about $1,200 without the motor. So he goes, give me $50. So I said, for $50, I'll take that. I took it home, and the first thing you do is you check fuel, right? Fuel and filters on the engine. It was a decent-sized pump. It was a 4-inch pump. And I opened up the tank, and it had sugar in it. It looked like dirt. But when I dumped it out, it was sugar. So it didn't hurt the diesel engine. No, it did not. But I don't know I don't know about gasoline. I never saw it. I heard that, but I don't know for a fact if it does or not. I never experimented with that. But the sugar does not melt in diesel fuel, so all it did was clog up the filter. Oh, he has a covenant with the Jewish people. There's no doubt about that. I'm being serious. Lewis and I agree. Oh, yeah, we can only hope. Dennis Scott, see, answers the question. Supposedly, sugar does not dissolve in gasoline, so it won't ruin the engine. But it may clog up the pump or the fuel filter. Yeah, see, I only had the experience with the sugar in the water pump. Dennis is saying that it won't melt in gas either. Thanks, Dennis. LaRue is saying thanks for subscribing to our channel. Yeah, they ain't never going to change. It's going to get worse long before it gets better. They worship only power and money. Lucid dreaming, we talked about that. Yeah, lucid dreaming is pretty cool. Try that again, Scott. I had a lucid dream the other night. I don't remember what it was, but I woke up believing that it was real. And then I woke up and I'm going, I don't have a dog anymore. I had my dog in the dream. I don't remember what the dream was. It was probably because that damn dog next door was barking. But I had a dream I had to go feed my dog. Because my dog, 17 years, every day he wanted to get fed in the morning and the afternoon, and he did. But I had a dream that my dog was hungry, and it was time to take him out, and I had to go feed him. And I woke up going, oh, God, I got to get the dog. And I actually woke up and sat up in bed thinking I got to get the dog. I don't have a dog anymore. I don't live in America anymore. I put the dog to sleep in 1993. 93, 95, 95, 95, 95. I got him in 79. 16 years he lived. I make an artichoke casserole with the breadcrumbs, olive oil, and plenty of garlic. Yeah, that's a nice topping, garlic and breadcrumbs. They don't sell 4C breadcrumbs here, though. LaRue's in the kitchen, cooking while she's listening. LaRue's always doing housework. All right, well, that's it for the comments. Thanks for watching. So, now I didn't do my, I have a lot to say about the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes. And then I was asked, not told, but asked for a reprieve of the crybaby in Cebu. We give him a reprieve. So I'm going to do that for now. We'll see how the next time how he reacts to people trolling me. But I was asked to put a reprieve on my commentary because I discussed it with some people. And they said, why don't you give him a week to see the light? I said, okay, I could do that. But if I see that type of mindset, if I see that the continuance of allowing people to knowingly abuse my person, you want to call it free speech? I assure you that the document that I have written is another version of free speech. But I was asked for leniency, to give leniency, and I'm going to allow that. We'll see what happens in the next week or two. I'll leave it for another week or so. But if you people continue to abuse me on some worthless blogger's channel that can't walk a mile in his own shoes, you're welcome to do that. That's free speech. But if I see Mr. Free Speech himself on the channel allowing those comments to take place because he believes in free speech, well, then I am going to exercise my right to free speech. And I can back it up with documentation of why I believe that my free speech is free speech. So keep letting people call me crazy. Keep letting people say that his leg wound is flesh-eating bacteria. Keep letting people say that Daisy May is 4 months pregnant and everybody laughing. Keep letting people, and you know who you are, laugh saying that Fazio, quote, Fazio said he has 9,000 videos on YouTube. LOL, as if that's not true. It's true. I have that many videos. And I'll explain it to you so you don't make that mistake again. Because if you make that mistake again to critique what I say about how many videos I have on YouTube, I'm going to do something that coincides with something that you won't like. You won't like it. Nothing illegal, by the way. But the next time you criticize me to be a liar, I'm going to exercise my right on YouTube to talk or not talk about something I have 9,000 videos on my channels on YouTube. I'll explain it to you slowly so you don't make the same mistake again. Because if I ever see that comment on the page again, then I'm going to answer that comment. You won't like that. On my Hoodwinked by an Angel page, it used to be you could go back 100 pages, 200 pages, and on each page would be 25 videos. So 100 pages would be 2,500 videos. Then you could go back 200 pages or 5,000 videos back. You could go back 2,500, then it would allow you for another 100 pages. You could go back 5,000 videos. But on your video channel, I'm just going to say this to you once. If you make the mistake of calling me a liar again, I'm going to prove to you that I'm not a liar. I can't prove to you how many videos I have on YouTube because YouTube took the option away to see all my videos, but I will do something different. You call me a liar one more time, and you're going to be unpleasantly surprised at what I say to you, okay? Now, go ahead and call me a liar, say I don't have 9,000 videos and I can't prove it, because I can't prove it, because YouTube only lets you go back 2,000 videos now. Used to be an option to go back 5,000 videos, but you could start at the back of your video selection from day one and go forward 5,000 videos. So at some point, you could have 10,000 videos and either go back or forward. That option's gone. Now you can go back 100 pages. And then you can't see videos anymore. So do I have 9,000 videos? I certainly do. Call me a liar again, and I'm going to ask you to do something you won't like. It's only a request. Don't call me a liar again, dude. I told you if you ever said something egregious on coming from your window, your chat, your page, that you'd be the first to know about it. I am making you aware that by laughing at me and calling me a liar that I have 9,000 videos, I don't like that. That's you got your warning. Now this is the second time I'm asking you not to do it. The third time, there won't be a conversation. Okay? Don't do it again. Now, I know you watch every one of my videos, and I know you take sound bites from every one of my videos. Every one of them. But do not call me a liar again. Don't do it. Don't make that mistake. You want to instigate people to come to my house, to my hotel construction site? I don't necessarily agree with that, but calling me a liar is a little bit more egregious. You have been notified. Don't do it again. Now, if you do it again, well, then you were asked nicely. Now you've been warned not to do it again. Don't call me a liar. That's how the big egomaniac, maniacal crybaby from Cebu, that's how he got into the thick of things, by calling me a liar or allowing other people to call me a liar. It's not going to work well. Okay, so I have somebody here, over 10 years of videos. Richard Greenwood, that's actually good advice. Fazio, please learn how to eliminate your toxin exposure, and you are right about that, and manage your diet and do intermittent fasting and bowel cleansing. It'll save your life. You know what? I'm gonna try to make that video, that comment public. Unhide user. DNC, that looks like a negative comment, but that's good advice. Bowel cleansing is something you do. Thank you, Richard Greenwood. I apologize. If you want to post that again, I'll leave the live stream up for a while so you can get that comment. I'll tell you what, I'm going to post it. That, eliminating the toxins, we have all kinds of toxins. Now, Richard Greenwood, I cut out sugar. I have 1 teaspoon of sugar in the morning. I'm going to get Richard Greenwood's comment up on the page. Richard Greenwood. I can't get all of it because it's 211 characters now. Okay. Greenwood says, Fazio, please eliminate your toxin exposure and do a bowel. Now, these things that he just said, those are things that you can do. I don't do them. But my toxic exposure is, I don't smoke cigarettes 2 years, 2 months, and 17 days. Not one cigarette ever. I cut down sugar to 1 teaspoon in the morning each day with my coffee. I haven't had any cake or bread in 2 months. No spaghetti. I had 6 packages of ramen noodles. They're like 1 ounce packages in the last 2 months. I haven't seen the forever batteries. I read about them. I saw a video on them. I have seen it, but I didn't do any research on it. If you want to post your idea, I'll leave the live stream on for a little while longer. If you have an idea about that. So Richard Greenwood, thank you. Okay, 4 gulps, 7 bubbles. Let's satiate Scott's drinking habit. 4 gulps, 7 bubbles. I try to do 1 gulp to every 7 bubbles. I try. Thanks, Scott. Craig Jacob. I need to unsub and resub, Michael, to start getting notifications. Yeah, Google is doing that to me. Thanks, Craig. Yeah, if you guys like my videos, and YouTube is unsubscribing untold amount of people because of my political stance, and also because of my flat Earth videos. Oh God, I'm going to do the flat Earth Fazio. We're going to come up with a whole slew of flat Earth. What I'm going to do now. Somebody, Don, the troll Don, said, yeah, some of us get notifications. The people that come every day get notifications, but disappear for a month or two and they take the notification bell away. Don the troll, the biggest troll on YouTube. That man has nothing good to say about anybody. He's not blocked on my channel, but he's such an angry man. Scott said it best. He's an angry old man. So the truth of the matter is the Earth is flat. Don, he's crazy. Well, Don said I was crazy when I said there were no satellites in space. And that's been proven, so he didn't post today. But that man has nothing to do with his life at all. Except bother other people. The Obama CIA asset DOD. Oh my God. Remember that? That made me famous. And now I put a DOD up on the screen. They will not give me a strike for the DOD itself. They won't even give me a strike if I say the DOD. And they won't give me a strike if I say certain things about Mr. Obama, but not allowed to, Mr. Obama used to like to ride the DOD, but now I think that would be against the rules. He was a big, like he ride US 1, he was big into free rides. Him and Michael. I've been at this a long time. That's right. So, Richard, thank you for that comment. Craig Jacobs, show the comment. Or Trayvon. Oh, Mr. Trayvon Martin. Oh, my God, I love Trayvon. He was one of my favorite characters in the Obama administration. Oh, I loved him. Oh, God. Trayvon, good night. Richard Greenwood, sleep tight. Good night. Yeah, Richard Greenwood, that was actually good advice. Good night, sleep tight. Thank you. To get rid of the toxin DNC, there's a whole process to do that. One is fasting, and then what you do, now I've never done it, but you get a bag. I forgot what it's called. It cleanses your bowels, and you put warm water and I think vinegar, but it could be baking soda. I don't remember what it was. And you insert a tube into your the back side of your body, and you put the bag on a door, and the bag pushes the water into your bowels. An enema, right? An enema, and you can buy an enema bag in any drugstore anywhere in the world, and I know people that used to do it. They used to swear by it. I never did it. I can tell you the only time. No. Anyway, that's a story for another day. But yeah, I seen enema bags when I worked in people's houses. A lot of people do it though too. A lot of people put do the enema bag thing. A lot of not like 5 out of 100. Probably 20 people out of 100 that you wouldn't know. It cleanses your colon. Actually, it cleanses your colon. And it cleanses the toxins out of your body. It's a good thing to do. Yes, they do it. A lot of people that are into big time medical, keeping themselves healthy, they do it. They go into hospitals where they have like 5 days of a reprieve from their lifestyle, and they get enemas, and you could do it with a garden hose too. Yeah, you could do that. It actually, I know people in the family that swear by it. I never did it. Craig Jacob, I have you on my Facebook Friends Messenger. That's why I send you stuff, brother, that I might think would be important. Yeah, I did post those videos in the links of a description in my commentary. Alcohol and booze. Well, let me tell you something, Chuck. No, was that Chuck? I don't know. If you put out an injury, guess what you get back? The DOD. On Twitter, they won't let me tweet Big Mike. Big Mike. Oh, yeah, Mr. Obama and Big Mike. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people doing alcohol. Let me try to explain this to you. The anal cavity, as far as medicine, in many hospitals, they will put medicine into your anal cavity because there are more blood vessels in the sphincter and above than there are like say they inject you with medicine in your vein, and they take that same medicine, they put it in a pill, and they put it in your anal cavity. It's going to get absorbed faster and more efficiently. I don't know why. But people used to put all kinds of suppository, right, the medicine in the suppository. People used to put all kinds of stuff there. That's a true story. True story. Right, water straight into, because it goes right into your body. I'll email you a couple of crazy stories. That's good. Andrew Kaufman's website will tell you everything you need to know about optimal health. I'll get the link for that right now. Does anybody know what is a good spyware to get stuff off your computer? I have something that's slowing my computer down. I tried Spybot Search and Destroy for free. It won't initiate. I tried AVG. It won't work. It didn't work. Andrew Kaufman's website. Mount Sinai is in New York, so he's a big to-do doctor. Yeah, see, it's freezing up now. So if you guys want to learn about what this man says is a good website for holistic medicine, try it out. Some put the drug up there, flying circuses. That's true. That's very true. The problem with that is usually you need a friend to help you. It's got to be a good friend. Keystring. Andrew Kaufman also knows we didn't go to the moon. Got to be a good guy. Mike Dowdy's putting ecstasy in. I don't know about that. It'll work, though. Let me tell you something. From what I hear, I've heard stories. Now, this part is true. I knew people that were literally hooked on substances that they put in through intravenous methods, and once they learned about putting it in from the back door, they never They never used the needle again. They loved it. That's true. I'm not kidding you. It's not only is it good, it's good for you. All right, guys. DNC. I'll leave this stuff go here. You might just need to wipe the drive and reinstall. But if you have a lot of saved files, it becomes a pain in the butt. I thought he was talking about the keystering. So I have AVG, and I put the I just took it out this morning. It cleaned my computer once, and then now it wants you to buy a $49 version or a $19 version. And it's a recurring charge on your credit card. I don't mind paying for something once, but it's a recurring charge. CC Cleaner, I heard about that. I'll check that out. All right, then you guys have fun saying goodbye to each other. I'm going to go outside and do some things. Thanks for stopping by. And what could I say that I haven't already said? We're going to do another Flat Earth video sometime this week. And the person whom I warned about calling me a liar, don't do it again, dude. Don't do it again. Don't do it again. The other guy, the guy who can't walk a mile, he's going to do it forever. He's going to do it until he finally realizes that on a scale of humanity, he's not that high up on the scale. I don't know why anybody gives him. I don't know why anybody enables him with money. Other than the fact that he allows people to come on his channel and abuse everybody, I don't see the benefit of that. I don't see the humor or the benefit in that type of blogging. Now, the fact that most of it has to do with me on yesterday's live stream has forced me to write 3 pages of notes with a side order of the Crybaby and Cebu notes. You guys keep it up. You guys keep it up. The Crybaby and Cebu, and I'm going to just notify you right now. You broke your promise. This is the comment that was taken off of the man who can't walk a mile in his own shoes. I put it up twice. You agreed that neither one of us would mention each other's name, period. Or we could all have free speech on the subject. You broke your promise. You said Fazio. So everybody knew who you were talking about when you were degrading me. You broke your promise, and now free speech, right? Mr. Free Speech comes into play. Now, I was asked, and I'm going to say this again, I was asked to give you a reprieve. Not the other guy. Not Mr. I can't walk a mile in my own shoes. But if I see this train of thought continuing, where you continue, you're a moderator on Mr. I can't walk a mile in his shoes, and I go on his channel and I see my comments being removed, no. We're going to go free speech all the way. You want free speech? You can give everybody my secrets, and then I will do the same. If you feel that the value of your free speech is worth more than mine, then we're going to have to find out with a poll of all the people in the Philippine genre. Because you're not going to get away with abusing me day after day after day after day by letting people talk stuff that you know is not true. You did this once before. You allowed people to say all kinds of egregious stuff against me, knowing it wasn't true, and stating, well, I don't know if it's true. He never showed me the plans or the permits, but he said he had them. Why would I lie about that? Why would I lie? And then when I wagered you $10,000 that I have the plans or permits, or put the wager out to you and anybody else, no one took it. So why, if you doubted my word, why didn't you make a live stream saying he does have plans? No, you had to be forced into saying, well, he might have plans and permits. You are not going to get away with that again. You got a reprieve, but that doesn't mean I forgot about what you said on the live stream or what you allowed to be said. You want free speech? I'll give you free speech. I'll talk about everything. Every time you put up one of my secrets, I'll put up 10 of yours. Okay? There you go, free speech. So you threaten me in your 3-hour dissertation. If you even mention my name or rebuttal this, I'm going to put all your secrets out on the internet. That was a threat. But you would agree that if we don't mention each other's names, we'll just leave it at that, and I left it at that. You couldn't keep your promise. You broke your promise. So this is why it's going to happen, if it does happen, folks. But the reprieve is temporary. Believe me when I tell you. I don't want the reprieve. I only agreed to the reprieve till I could have more data, input data. The input, there's no guarantee it's going to last. So go ahead, keep it up. Keep up your free speech. Keep up letting people say whatever they want about me and Daisy and the wound and infection on my leg, and then I'm going to go free speech on you. That's like I'm going free speech on the crybaby in Cebu. Free speech. Free speech. Remember, it's only YouTube, baby. Bye-bye, LaRue. Flat Earth, I'm shutting it down. Thanks for stopping by. Chuck Delina, your enemies are happy with any time you use up on them. Oh, yeah, they're going to be more happy. I'm going to make them happier. I'm going to give them what they want. I'm going to do a Bonnie Raitt. Let's give them something to talk about. It's only YouTube, baby. I'm Pink Permy from Michael Fazio and Daisy May in the Philippines, baby. Thanks for stopping by. I got things to do. Scott's gone, Dennis. Flying Circus, DNC, Jake, Craikup Jake, Bite 008, La Villa, oh man, LaRue Seagrass, Dennis, thank you. I don't remember everybody's name today. All right, it's been 3 hours. I'm Big Permy, Flying Circus, bye-bye for now. Oh yeah, wait. Flying Circus. Get the link for your channel. Oh, man. See, I don't know how to keep the comments on my page. Bye, Chuck Delano. Yeah, you're probably right about them. The enemies are happy with any time, but I'm going to give them more. I'm going to make them more happy. See, these are trolls. They love this. I like it, too. I like it as much as they do, because if... You know what? I used to do this. I used to go about this the wrong way. There was cursing and gnashing of the teeth and all of that involved with it. Now, I don't curse on my videos anymore, so I don't get demonetized. I don't talk about sexual stuff anymore. I don't get all my videos stay monetized. I don't make that much on the videos. But I did learn, because they have the new rules, so you have to follow the new rules. Free speech. Oh, I don't know, Bite. That's possible. I was one of your biggest detractors once, because I jumped the gun. That's possible. Now I have a tendency to let people say what they want. And thanks, Flying Circus. Like that fella. Oh, man. He was a really good commenter. We have Comic Coin Gallery. Jay was here. The Show. Mike Dowdy. Scott. DNC. Regular guy. He's been my friend since 1985, since he was born. I forgot that other man's name. It's way up at the top of the chat. All right, I gotta go. I have 1:36. Sun is out. I have something I want to go do. Bye-bye for now. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I will leave the comments. I will leave this live stream up with the comments on it. You'll probably be able to comment. You'll be able to see the comments for a little while. I'm being Permy from the Philippines, baby. I take Marilax because I'm an irregular guy. That's good. Good to know. Good to know. Bye-bye. Amping Permy, of course, means take care always. I got to talk to Wes, and then I got to do something. Bye-bye for now. Gotta go. Gotta go. I gotta go. Yes, you have a reprieve. You should be grateful for the reprieve that you were granted. But it's only temporary. It's only YouTube, baby. Remember, it's only YouTube, baby.